Why, hello there, darling. This is April Mason, founder of the Teach Me How to Date VIP Academy and your #1 femininity and dating coach for the successful woman. And fellas, I'm here for you as well too. So I'm going to wait just for a few moments for Facebook to go ahead and give you your notifications because I think they're moving a little slow. My audience in my group are starting to tell me that they're not getting the notifications. So if you're not getting my notifications, make sure that you have clicked the follow button above and click get all notifications. So I don't know, I'm not responsible for it. I don't know, but make sure you do that. Also, if you are watching on my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe above, okay? So hey y'all, hey T and Cassandra, I see y'all coming on in here. I didn't get to do the review on Tuesday due to the election going on, and I know you guys probably wasn't trying to watch Miss Mason when this doggone election was going on. And then last night we had a storm here in Atlanta and it caused my electricity to go out. So I said, I just walked in the house. I said, you know what? Let me do this before I jump in the shower and take myself to bed because I have an early day tomorrow. So let's get right into it. The review on Ready to Love episode 3. Did you guys see it? If you saw it, say, girl, I saw it. Wave your hand and say, girl, I saw it. Well, first things first, let's start off with the one I feel is doing way too much and actually more embarrassing herself, and that is Miss Melinda. Melinda is in her 40s. I think she's 45, and she is head over heels for Aaron, the 34-year-old. And Aaron has done nothing to earn the attention that she's giving him, other than he looks nice. That's what she says. Oh my gosh, he does it for me. How does he do it for you? Because his conversation is not really about anything. He's made everybody special. And it's kind of like, what has he done to gather, all this attention? I don't see it. And so to be 45 years old and she done cooked this man a full-fledged meal, it's almost like a lot of the women on the show, they are trying to get the guys to, pick me, versus being who they are and letting the men show them why they should choose them. It's not a even thing. It's not balanced out. So they're, showing, let me show him what I can do. No. If you have to sell someone on you, you're going to always have to sell them on why they should keep you, honey. I'm just saying. So as I'm watching it, I'm like ready to just because he's done nothing. And even when they were all on a date with Mike and even with Alex, they were saying how much they liked Aaron. And so Mike and Alex was like, well, wait, well, what about us? What about us? And then Courtney made herself look real bad when she said, well, Aaron said that, I was his body type and he's that. I mean, she going all into like she's in high school about what he said about her. Y'all know folks can say whatever they want to say. And once again, Aaron makes no one special. Aaron makes no one feel as though, they have a chance because he's the same across the board. Now, he did say if he had to choose, he would pick Angel. I liked her, but then on the other side of that was when they felt like it was a competition coming on. It was kind of like, well, you better bring it, girl. I wish I would. Honey. And it's like, this show is showing you why dating is difficult in Atlanta. Look at what you're dealing with. I like Mike with Shay. I'm just sorry. I like Mike with Shay, and I like Stormy with Pastor Chris. And I like Ashley. Well, I liked her with, it was one of the guys that was kicked off the show. And so I'm sitting here like, you guys are talking about, are you ready to love in Atlanta? But there's no substance to this. And what they're actually showing is what dating in Atlanta has been. It's the superficial, and you got the women out here trying to sell themselves on these men, and the men, when they come across an asset woman, they're not accustomed to having to pursue. They're not accustomed to having to be consistent, put in effort. They're putting in little effort, but these women feel like they're in competition for these men. I wouldn't have been right for the show, honey. Now, I would have been right as the dating coach for the women on the show. But if I had the opportunity, if I was as a single woman, just to be on a show like that, no. Absolutely not. Because the men aren't showing. It's like the men are sitting back to see, okay, let me see what they're going to do. And it's not even intentional for the men. It's just the position that they've been put in. Now, Alex and Tiffany, I see what they got going on there. But it's just amazing to me how Melinda, I think that's the one that got me. She's so stuck on Aaron like they are in high school or junior high school, but the man has done nothing. He even said her cooking dinner was a little bit much for him. So these men are just showing up, and the women are putting themselves on display to say, let me show you what I'm working with. Here is why you should pick me. But not one of those men have said or shown, this is why, ladies, you should choose me. So the women don't know how to inspire the men to chase them. Men chase, women choose. But the women are doing the chasing. Okay? So now, once again, when you come across an asset woman, she's become too much because she requires you to pursue her. She reciprocates. She shows you that she's interested. She's giving you the green light to let you know it's okay to pursue. An asset woman requires you to pursue. An asset woman requires you to be consistent. An asset woman requires you to put in effort. That's what we require. So what we're not going to do is allow you to put in little effort and then us just give you everything. You ain't earned that. You haven't. You have not earned that. So watching the show, honestly, I'm not really, it's not really, doing it for me, to be honest with you, because although the premise of the show was to get people ready for love and say, oh yeah, Atlanta's ready for love, but they're actually doing it a disservice because you're showing, or the parts that's edited and cut in there, or however they're doing it, is showing people why it's so difficult. I do like Ashley. Ashley is the youngest one, and she about the one with the most sense. I like her. I like Tiffany. I don't know about Rita yet, because Rita, she said she volunteered, to let her man have a side chick, because, I wasn't having sex with him all the time. So, I'll let him do that. The other one that really bothered me was Dr. Lexi. Now, the men were honest with all of the extra makeup and all of the extra hair and the different contacts. They didn't like that. And ladies, I've told you guys this before, that if a man had the option to choose whether he wants a woman with all of that extra stuff or or a more natural woman, he'll always go back to the more natural woman. Now, doesn't mean he won't accept all of the extras, but if he had the opportunity to choose, he would not choose the woman with all of the extras. That's just, what it is. And I was talking to a friend of mine. He and I were having a conversation about when a man remembers his first love, she's in her natural state. It's her natural scent. And with all of this extra stuff we putting on, all of these long, different cultures of hair that we're putting on, it's altering our scent. And you wonder why, men can't really find you, because think about when you were little. It was the scent. They always tell you. I remember what she smelled like. She smelled like strawberries. She smelled like, chocolate cake. She smelled like, it's always that. But she was in her natural state. So when all you putting on all of this extra stuff, you're altering your natural scent. You're altering it. And then you're wondering why you're not getting the type of results that you want, because it all plays a part. I'm not knocking you doing what you do, but you can't keep giving a cat dog food and wonder why it's not taking it, okay? It doesn't work. And the one thing I said this last week, men know what to do to attract women. They know we look for the protector, we look for the provider, we look for the security. They know that. So they do that, whether they are being genuine or not. They've mastered understanding and knowing this is what a woman wants. As a woman, what we do is we act like we don't like that men are attracted to, beauty. And beauty comes in all shapes, forms, and fashion. We act like we don't know that men are attracted to women that stroke their ego. We act like we don't know that men love a woman that's more softer and gentle and feminine. We keep saying, why we got to do all that? But they've mastered doing exactly what it is that we need from them. But we don't want to do what naturally attracts them. We want to be boss chicks and bad bitches, and I'm independent and I got my stuff together, and I'm not taken down from nobody, and I work this hard to get here and blah. We do all of that stuff. But yet you still can't get a quality date to save your life. You're still talking about how intimidated men are by you. So with Dr. Lexi, I commend her for all of her accomplishments. But if all of the men had the same thing to say about her, it's not everybody else. And one of the things that I can't stand with people, when a woman says, you know what, a man just going to have to accept me as is. And, when God has the right one for me, he'll show up. Well, he ain't never showing up. You know why? Because the you that you've been has been the very thing that has been repulsing men away from you. Ooh, did April just say that? Did she just say that, honey? Yes, I did. A lot of you are out here saying, I'm just going to keep doing me, and whoever God got for me is going to be there. No, you doing you got where you are right now. That's a lazy way of saying, I'm not going to do the work to become my better self. I'm not going to put any effort into my appearance. I'm not going to put any effort into changing my attitude. I'm not going to put any effort into being more friendly and smiling more and being more open, being more approachable. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants someone that always have a sourpuss look on their face. You being you got you where you are right now. If you ever heard a man say, smile, sweetheart, it can't be that bad, that means you walking around with what my daughter calls the resting bitch face. So you keep being you, and somebody's just going to come along, and nope, somebody going to keep passing you over. You don't change your personality. You don't change the feminine woman that you are at your core. But what you can do is look at what others are saying about you and make adjustments. If you keep hearing the same thing from men all the time, it's not them, it's you. One of the things that I used to hear from men all the time, and even some of my closest male friends, I remember a friend of mine about 8 years ago, I went through something and he called me and we talked about it. He called me back. He said, hey, I already know you. Your cutoff game is strong. And this was just a friend. So once I heard other men say, you don't give people second chances. Your cutoff game is strong. I couldn't just use you shouldn't be doing what you do to get cut off. I had to look at, April, why is your cutoff game so strong? Why do you cut people off and then they immediately become dead to you, to where you forget their name, what they look like, and everything else? Why is that? So I couldn't just blame it on everyone else when even my strictly just platonic male friends noticed it. Hey, your cutoff game, I ain't never seen nothing like it. I had to examine why that was for me. So if everybody's saying the same thing about you, it's not about intimidation. And then when we do all of this extra stuff, as far as leading with our accomplishments, leading with, yes, I'm a doctor this, and I have a PhD that, I have my master's and my bachelor's, my MBA, I have all of these things. That's not what men choose women on. I've told you that before. That was one of the things that played a part in the failure of my marriage when I was in my 20s, because I didn't understand that. I didn't understand that, April, you lead with your femininity. You don't lead with your accomplishments. He already know you smart. He already know that. He already know you're resourceful. He already knows that you know how to make it happen. Now, he wants to know what them wife skills look like, though. You know, what that loyalty do, though. What that respect doing, though. He wants to know those things. You know. So with that, with Dr. Lexi, I think she took what Alex said as offensive, but yet that's what happens when a man tells you the truth and you don't like his truth. But she took it as these men are intimidated. All those men on the show were not intimidated. But yet the men, when you're not on the show that you meet, say the same thing about you. Tone it down. I think she went overboard and overreacted to what he said. But Mike said the same thing about her. She toned it down, but she still came with the Foxy Brown wig. She said, oh, he like a more natural look. He talking about and I didn't understand that. He said Mike likes a more of a natural look. But yet she still came with a wig on. I didn't understand it. She still came with the fake eyes and all that stuff on. He liked more of a natural look. So you gave him a fake natural look. It was interesting. Cassandra says, at what point do you introduce cooking and cleaning in the dating phase? That's up to you. It's like, see, that's another thing about dating. How you date and who you're dating will determine that. You know, I don't think cooking a man a meal is a wife duty, because you got to eat too. You know, I don't view that as I'm not going over to clean nobody's house unless Bae sick. Bae, you sick? Or you done hurt yourself? Okay, let mama come over there. I'm gonna come over there and make you something to eat at your house, and then I'll tidy up a little bit. But that's just me. But something has had to be established between us. But I think what when we talk about, don't be cooking for no man doing wife duties. Well, I'm not cook. If he over here, I'm gonna cook for me anyway. So, honey, would you like something to eat? I think we try to put these time limits on everything to the point where we get too technical. I gotta eat. She gotta eat. And if you happen to just be over here, or if I'm at your house and we don't feel like going out to eat, and I'm like, honey, what you got in your refrigerator? Let me see what you got. Oh, you going in the brother kitchen to cook? Yeah, honey, I'm hungry. Would you like something too? Carla said, I understand what he likes, but you have to wear what works for you. Yes, and you wear what works for you, and then you don't complain about being single. Because men do what works for them, and they do what works for women. They get it. And a lot of women who wear a lot of weaves and all of them extra makeup and all of that, they always say, you got to do what work for you. But then these are the same women that never get a quality date. So yes, you do what works for you, but don't complain about what you're not getting because you keep trying to give a cat dog food and you wondering why it's not taking it. Do you? Wear all your accessories. Do everything. But you ask the average masculine man, would he prefer all of the extras over a more of a natural woman? He will always choose the natural. Because even when in his younger days, when he was younger, and the woman that he fell in love with in 6th, 7th, 8th grade high school, she was most likely in her natural state. So you can. Trust me, I'm not telling you what not to do. Just don't complain about the result that you're not getting. And I'm a results type of woman. All that you doing, I'm doing me, honey. And if I want to wear my blonde hair, if I want to you go right ahead. I'm okay with that. Well, April, why are you telling women not to wear what they want to wear just to get a man? Because they're behind the complaining about not getting one. Do what you gonna do, but don't complain. These men don't want no real woman. Well, are you really real with all of that other stuff on? How you gonna say you want a real man, but you got fake hair, fake eyelashes, fake booty, fake breasts, fake contacts on, everything else? How can you say that? He said, we can meet somewhere in the middle. I can accept their big belly, and that's fine. But guess what? The key word is their big belly. It ain't no fake belly. It's their belly. It ain't fake. So if you can accept that, that's fine. You're accepting something that's natural about him. He don't have to accept something fake about you. So, but if that's what you want to do, that's absolutely fine. But don't be mad when you keep complaining about the same thing. Carla said, I don't complain. Well, then I ain't talking to you. It's not personal. I'm just going on, women that I hear a lot, that say that. They say that they can work it off, and then she can take off the fake hair. If he can take off his belly, why can't she take off the fake eyelashes? Once again, at least is his. At least is his. Rick says, you are so right about the natural part, April. These women will defend all that fake stuff forever. But at the end of the day, majority of those same women that are my clients that defend it, I can't get a quality date to save my life. But why do I have to change in order to get a man? At the end of the day, do what you want to do. Just don't complain about the results that you're not getting. If we look at what men really like, and what they figured out what we really like, they give it to us. They give us the romance. They give us showing us off the rip that they can protect and provide. They give us those things because that's just how we as women are naturally made up. But at the end of the day, if we're not giving men what actually does it for them, and we're trying to do everything our way and say, well, why do I have to do all that? But yet they're not complaining about being the protectors and providers. It's interesting to me. Kathy said, I have a hair disease, so what am I to do? This is not for people like Kathy. This is not for people. When I say that, I'm not talking about women that have alopecia and all this other stuff. I'm talking about women who complain about not getting quality dates, and the dude that tells them, well, you wear a lot of makeup. Well, why should I have to take my makeup off? Okay, well, you don't. You just might not date that dude. And my thing is, why prolong being able to get out into the dating game because you want to do what you want to do? People that have cancer and have a reason to do and to enhance, and put on wigs and things, we ain't talking about that. That's something totally different. It's normally the women that don't have the disease or don't have something, an illness going on, that complain. And I'm only going from a lot of my clients. And it was so funny. I was watching what's her name? The Michelle show. And her boyfriend, he wanted to play with her hair, but he wasn't playing with her hair. He was playing with the weave she had. He was just twirling in her hair, and just twirling. And I kind of smiled. I was like, and she don't even feel him playing with that at her scalp, because there's something about when a man play with your hair and you can feel it in your scalp. That's some sexy stuff right there. But wear what you want to wear. Do what you want to do. But in this instance, the reason why I brought it up is because Dr. Lexi was really like, they need to be able to accept me. But they're telling you they're not accepting that. So instead of taking heed to it, her thing was, I'm going to wait for God to send me somebody that's accept me for me. Not realizing the men there never got an opportunity to see you to accept them, to accept you for you. That's the thing. It's an illusion. It's like, I want me a real man. These men out here, they not real men. Well, if you don't have any reason to have all the extra stuff on, show your real self. And maybe you might attract some real. As long as taking off your as long as taking off your makeup doesn't make you go from Janet Jackson to Freddie. I cannot with you. Makeup is to enhance. Someone said, cooking for your man ain't doing a wife duty. Cooking for him makes him want you to what? Exactly. That's why people, they be tripping. Why should I cook it? Why should I cook for him? That ain't my man. Well, why should he come over and fix your TV? Why should he come over and do some of the things that you would like him to do? Why? Well, ladies, we can't be one-sided. We can't just be one-sided. Okay, here's the thing. I don't have to go full-fledged to let a man know that I'm wife material. I don't have to cook a 5-course meal to let him know that I can cook. I don't have to clean his house for him to know that she can clean when he come to my house. I don't have to do all that, but in order to be a wife, you have to show that you have the ability to become that. It says, but a lot of women may have an insecurity that they don't know they have, so they portray the fake. And then that's up to them to do their work. That's up to them to do their work. At some point, you have to become self-aware. You have to have the aha moment. I had it. I didn't like when I had it because it came after a really bad breakup. But you got to be in tune enough with you to look at what are other people saying about me, especially the opposite sex. Why can't I get a quality date? You guys know I don't teach relationships and I don't teach marriage. I teach simple dating. And the art of dating has been lost. And so a lot of our women, they're like, I did a video called Relax, He's Not Your Husband, because you trying to get to the relationship, but you haven't learned the art of dating yet. Let's learn dating yet. Let's learn how to communicate, more effectively. Let's learn how to be okay saying what it is that we want. Let's not put all of these stipulations on how I should do it, when I should do it. I have no problem cooking for a man at all. None. I don't care if it was a second date. I have no problem with that, because I would have already had an opportunity to speak enough with him to get his vibe, feel his energy, to determine if he's somebody that I would invite over to my house, or if I would go to his home. I've already figured that out, because it has a lot to do with the questions that you ask when you guys spend that time getting to know each other over the phone. But if we're not taking the time to communicate to get to know each other, then what? For me, I mirror what a man does. If fellas, here's something that I want you to walk away with. If you don't like a treatment a woman that you're seeing is giving you, look at what you're giving. She might be mirroring what you're giving. And if you don't like the way that feels, look at what you're giving to her. Okay? Wise women, we mirror. Yes, let time have its perfected timing instead of marrying him in our heads. Absolutely. Absolutely. So that was my issue with Dr. Lexi. Shantae, I don't think Shantae, they didn't give enough men, more mature, distinguished, more experienced men, seasoned men for Shantae. I think that she's looking at Aaron, but that ain't for you, Shantae. That ain't for you. At all. Like I said, I like Ashley, but the situations that stuck out this week were Melinda doing way too much, cooking this man a home cooked meal and he ain't done nothing. Then it was Dr. Lexi. Those two really stood out with me on this week's episode. So, ladies, we can't be selling ourselves on anyone. If I have to sell myself on you, I'm going to always have to sell myself on why I should keep you. Well, why someone should keep you. Also, think about toning down, and if you don't have an illness, toning down all of the extras and see what happened. I know, I should be able to do what I want to do, and you can. Just don't complain. You'll be sitting there forever waiting on someone to accept you for you. And you're not presenting your best self. So it says, what would you say about the statement, why buy the cow when you get the milk for free? We have to match these men investment. I really don't agree with that to the full extent, because why buy the cow and you can get the milk for free? A lot of that is related to sex, right? But there are women every day that are getting married that have had sex with the man, before, they might have felt like they should have, or, before marriage or whatnot. So I think that I look at that statement as extremes. I'm not being a wife to the degree of we have shared bank accounts, we're buying investment stuff together. That's wife stuff for me. But when it comes to cooking for you, when it comes to being that confidant, when it comes to creating a safe place, we might have, I might have a key to your house. And if I might go over there knowing that you coming home from work, I might go over there and cook for you. But if I'm dating you and we're getting to know each other and you felt comfortable enough to give me a key to your house, why would I not feel comfortable enough to go in there and say, you know what, this man has been consistent. He's showing effort. He's letting me know that he's genuinely interested in me. Why is it going to kill me to go over there and cook the man a meal? Because he didn't want to work all day. I don't see that as a big deal. That's not a big deal for me. Does it mean I'm going to do it all the time? No. But it's not a big deal. And for me, I've learned to not try to limit myself on what I'm going to do, because I have to be 100% who April is. So from the get-go, you get to see what it will be like to be in a relationship with me. I'm not going to not do certain things just because I feel like, oh no, there's a time for this and a time for that. A wise woman will understand and ask certain particular questions to find out the type of man that she's dealing with before she moves forward. That's why I always say a woman never has to ask a man, a wise asset woman never has to ask a man what he's going to do for her, because she would have already done an assessment of the man. So she never has to ask what he's going to do. So she has no problem serving him at all. And so it's not a big deal to her at all. Others might say, girl, why are you doing all that? How you know what he gonna do for you? Well, because I've already made an assessment of, and I collected data on his character and his integrity and who he is as a man. So I just do things a little bit, you do things a little bit differently. Ivy says, what do you do when everything is good, but the person won't commit to you or being exclusive? Then that means everything isn't good. If that's what you want, then that's not good. That's somebody that's giving you the crumbs. And that's somebody that's, it's a woman saying, I'm willing to accept those crumbs. So if that's what you really want, and somebody's not willing to give it to you, you don't sit around waiting on them to give it to you. You politely excuse yourself, and you make yourself available to someone that wants to give you the same thing, move at the same pace you want to move at, and reciprocate at the same level that you do. So everything isn't okay if they won't commit or be exclusive with you, especially on their end. There's something about you that makes them not want to be exclusive or commit to you. Do you want somebody that wants that? Anthony said, keep it pushing, boo. That you heard it from a man. Because when a man is into you, he has no problem to committing to you and being exclusive with you. Even the man that says, I don't want ever want to be in a relationship again. Even the man that says, I don't ever want to get married again. My daughter told me her husband said that. And next thing you know, now they're married. You know, you can fill somebody out to figure all of those things out. So that's what I had to say, and I wanted to answer some of y'all questions at the same time as I do this review. I just think the show does not show us in the best light. I just don't think it. I think it shows exactly why we're having a issue in the dating arena. These women are out here competing for these men, and these men don't have to put in much work or effort at all. They don't. And they're showing that on the show. So I probably would have done a couple of things differently on the show if I was producing it. But they're showing you. They're showing you why men don't have to put in effort. They're showing you. Look at what's going on with these women. Cooking, selling themselves. You know, no, we're going to go out, we're going to have a good time. How what we going to do? Pick me. No, that's not what we do. So, I'm not really feeling it. Let's see, Carla says, cooking, doing laundry, picking up from the cleaner. I used to be giving 100. I had to scale back and watch if he's investing. Yes, to be honest with you, that's really what it is. If you want to know what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing, look at their level of investment and match it. And sometimes we get ahead of ourselves because we start visualizing and fantasizing what could be versus looking at what is. Learn how to lean back a little bit. Pull back just a little bit if you have the tendency of going all the way in. Follow his pace. Follow his pace. Well, what do you think about the girl that they called her home because she played too much? You're talking about Christina. I agree with them 100%. Christina, and I think that might be a defense mechanism for her as well, too. Because she does play too much. They called her like a little sister. So she needs to mature. Yeah, she needs to mature. And so you can't be upset when you get friend zoned. Or say, well, you know what? I'm just going to wait for God to send me somebody that's going to accept me and me just playing all the time. No, there comes a time where there has to be some seriousness. And they could never gauge her level of maturity because she was always playing. So that's what I felt about Miss Christina. So they might end up sending her home. I think they end up sending her home, if I'm not mistaken. So the show is for me. I'm not really interested in watching anymore, but I'm going to watch just to come back and give you guys my thoughts on it. But overall, the show is not really giving us people ready to love. It's showing us why it's so hard to date in Atlanta. The women are competing with one another. The men are sitting back, and they're not having to use that. As a matter of fact, I just had dinner, and when I was there, one of my Facebook followers was there, and he said, I knew you, and he said, come sit over the table with me. So we had a conversation, and he was asking me a couple questions, and I said, one of the things that I realized is a lot of women that are becoming more aware and trying to do their work, a man will say that he wants an asset, what I call an asset woman, but he is not doing the work to be able to handle that kind of woman, because other women have lowered the standard, and he has not had to put in so much effort. He has not had to be consistent. He has not had to be a man of his word, because they were just accepting the crumbs. Now his mouth says, I want a woman like this. He comes across her, but she ends up not staying around because he hasn't been flexing those muscles of effort, consistency, doing the things to make her want to stay around, So you can't say, fellas, what you want and what you ain't getting when you have not done the work to be able to receive that kind of a woman. Yes, I appreciate Tommy too for getting on Aaron, because Aaron, he doesn't know how to tell women that he's not interested. He wants everybody to feel special, or he doesn't know how to let somebody down in a way that, it's respectful. It's like he doesn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. No, you can't lead anybody on, because he know he's not interested in Shantae. He know that, and he needs to be honest and tell her that. That's why she said, don't BS me. He gave her all of this stuff of who she is, but he knows he's not interested. And it's okay to say, you know what, I think you'll make a great husband or wife for somebody, but it's just not what I'm looking for. And you send them on their way. It's okay to do that. So that's all I have for you, ladies and gents, tonight. That's all I have. I'm not feeling it. Mason is not feeling it. And I think Melinda got us out here looking real desperate. I think in the upcoming episode, she said, I've already imagined myself having sex with Aaron. Really? But what has Aaron done to deserve or earn the fantasy of even having sex with him? He's done nothing. He's done nothing at all. And so, you would have to show me something for me to be fantasizing about sleeping with you. It can't just be, oh, he cute. Well, he got a nice smile and I like his body. Yes, she got us out here looking dry. Can we invite her to the academy? Yes, you can invite her to our Teach Me How to Date VIP Academy, because that is not what we do. All he do will be pulling his shirt up and everything. He wanted you to, boy, go sit down. What'd he do? That's all it takes. So men like that aren't used to having to put in no work. And when I say work, it's not anything hard. It's just the pursuit. But if women aren't not allowing them to pursue, what do? You can go to VIP, teachmehowtodate.com. Teachmehowtodate.com is the website. For those of you that are interested, I will post the link below. So I'm just not feeling it. If you ask me, if I'm only watching the show for y'all at this point, because I'm totally turned off. Because these women are, it's almost like, okay, we gonna fight to the death for one of these men. That's just not what we do. Okay? If you have to sell someone on you, you will always have to sell them on why they should keep you. None of these men that are really, I won't say none, because Alex is pursuing Tiffany and Mike was pursuing Shay. So I like Mike and Shay together. I like their vibe together. And people were upset with Mike for just sticking with Shay, but that's what men do. They see what they like and they go for it. So he didn't have to get to know everybody else. Told you my best friend Joe said he was on a date with another woman and saw Dawn on the stage and said, "That's my wife right there." Although he was on a date with another woman, because he knew as a man their spirits connected. It wasn't even anything said. He didn't even meet her for a whole nother year. Started dating her in December. I think he told me he proposed to her in March. It didn't take him all day. Because he knew, even I think he was 23 years old. He was in his 20s. When he saw her, that was it. He didn't have to go date a whole bunch of other chicks. It was like, okay, yeah, everybody else got to go. Because this, yeah, I see her and I'm going to stick with that. And another thing is being okay with sticking with the person that you meet. I'm going to give them a fair shot versus kind of trying to date everybody. Take the time to get to know somebody. No, they're not going to be perfect. They're going to mess up. But don't just go on a bunch of random dates. You know, spend time talking to someone on the phone, because everybody shouldn't be able to get your time. Okay? Quality over quantity. You can meet a plethora of people, but everybody shouldn't be able to get your time. Will Smith said the same thing about Jada. He saw her and had to have her. Yeah. That's it. It don't take all day. So, love y'all. Mwah. Have a good night. I got to go jump in the shower. It's getting my bed. Y'all, my body is sore. I've been working out with the trainer, y'all, and my body is on sore. And I'm just, I can hardly walk. They've been working a sister out. So, I had to kind of lay on my side, because if I lay on my other side, y'all, it hurt real bad. But I'm looking forward to the results. So, love y'all. Mwah. Have a wonderful night. Bye.